Hey guys, I've just turned 29 and I thought I'd make a little video reflecting on it because there's pros and cons and happiness and sadness and I thought I'd just kind of share how I feel about it all. It's probably not interesting to most of you, but I thought I would make a video about it anyway because it's important to be reflective. So stay tuned. So 29, it's an interesting age. It's really not mid-20s anymore. it's late 20s. It's kind of, it feels like I'm coming to the point where I have to say goodbye to this decade. There's two perspectives that I shift between. I shift in between the arbitrariness of time and age and the numbers and I think who cares? It's just another day. And then I also shift into the, time really just goes in one direction and there ain't nothing you can do about it. It just keeps going on. And I look at myself, I look at my hands and I think, I'm really just renting these particles of the universe to have experience before I have to return them to the universe and enter a void of emptiness after death. And I know that can be a pretty intimidating thing to hear, but I feel like that's the truth, and an important part of life is handling the truth. The 20s have been a really good decade in my life. I had traveled Europe a bunch of times. I did university, which was a lot of fun. I had a great time in Sydney and I partied a lot, and now I've come to Canberra and I feel like I'm kind of settling down a bit. And I feel really as I get into my 30s, it's going to be the transition of when life is all about me, when I decide what I'm doing for me and I want to have fun and, it's a bit more selfish, to going towards the next phase of life, which is about others. And this is a normal, process. Well, this is a typical stage of development. Your 20s are your teens and 20s about identity development and finding a career path and a partner and kind of getting into a stable relationship. This is all typical. This isn't what I'm saying is right or wrong or whatever, but this is a classical view. And then your 30s is kind of about career progression, having kids and kind of, it's not about you anymore. It's about being a giver. So it's about what can you give to society. That's how I conceptualize it, at least. I kind of feel like, I'm not quite ready, but will I ever be? And I kind of feel like it's important to try and stay youthful, And so what can I do to stay youthful? Well, the number one thing I think that we all need to do to keep our young youth is to stay really physically fit. So I've set up a gym here in my new home. Check out my earlier video about my home if you want to hear about that. And I'm trying to get into the best shape of my life, really. I'm trying to have a regular practice of physical activity such that I stay in good health for a long time. But yeah, I think there's this narrative, we always say happy birthday, but when you actually look at the studies, the evidence is that people are very unhappy on their birthday. They're quite existential. And it's, I like confronting the existentialness because, sooner or later you're going to have to, so you might as well do it sooner. And so I think a lot about death. I probably think about death, once a week. And I've had recently these incredibly vivid dreams of dying. And I don't say this with any sense of sadness, this is just life. These dreams, like for example, there was an atomic bomb dream where I could see the blast and it was coming, and I took a deep breath and I had to, and it felt extremely real, and I just had to come to terms with that. Here it comes, here's death. And then I take a breath in and I think I'm dead. The blast hits me and I think I'm dead and I'm in the void. And then I wake up and I gasp for air. This happens maybe, not that regularly, maybe once a month or something. And it's super interesting. It doesn't distress me at all. I wouldn't even consider it a nightmare, but I do consider it part of my existential confrontations of life and death. But yeah, whenever you turn the next stage, it makes you think about your life. It makes you think about where you're up to. And for all intents and purposes, I am thrilled with my life. I cannot believe how lucky I am. I do not put this down to, I put it down to hard work a bit, but I think I've had incredible supports that have allowed me to work hard. A lot of people want to work hard, but because of multiple reasons. They can't. They don't have, they have to do 3 jobs to pay for uni and blah, blah, blah. I only ever had to work, 3 days a week through uni. And for 1 year there, I didn't work at all, to get into medicine. I had a whole year off of work. So I've just been really, really lucky, and I've met incredible people, and I have incredible friends, which fill my life with incredible sense of happiness all the time. So, I think I'm a happy boy. And now that I have a home, I kind of see home as a final step of personal development, to create your own home. I've always shared houses with flatmates or rented, obviously, but this is the first time I've owned my home, and that is just an incredible kind of stage of development. And it was quite emotional to have my family visit my home. Like, my mum visited, and it was like, wow, like, look at me, mum. I've finished my personal development. I now have my own home, and I'm out of the nest. I haven't been living with her for 10 years, but it was really like to own my own home. And I say own with, quotation marks, because I own the loan to the home, more like it. But yeah, to own your own home is odd. It really feels like I'm an independent individual now. But all in all, if I look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I have a beautiful relationship. I have a great job. I have good colleagues. I have great friends. I'm very happy with how things are going. But I'm still existential, and I still fear getting old. And hopefully by the time I'm old, there will be some maturity in society around how to manage death, because I don't want to just be in a hospital bed having my life prolonged if the quality is bad, right? Which is a common thing at the moment. And yeah, I just wanted to make a little video reflecting on all of that. It would be interesting to hear from you guys if you want to comment down below and comment your age and how you're feeling about the existentialism of life. And how it's changed over time. Like, do you come to terms with death as you get older, or do you become more scared of it? This is a safe space, guys. Anyway, I hope I haven't, scared people away, but it's important to reflect, and that's why I made this video. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye for now.